what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Deceptilab and welcome to my weekly live stream. And today, just want to go over some of the new stuff that we're going to have coming to the game soon. And so, um, one of those things being that, we're going to have some new Prime cores coming to the game. And so, been doing a little bit of testing with those today. I have to say most of them look pretty good, and I think it's going to do real well for defense. Most of them, at least. So we'll talk about that. And last week I got to talk a little bit about the G1s and the ability 11s. I didn't actually get to do any gameplay, so we'll try to do some gameplay with that. Look at some of the differences, and we'll see how the evening goes. But before we get into any of that, I want to go and take a look at this week's event, this week's newsletter. So let's flip over to that. All right, and so this week the event is called Waiting Game. It's season 13, week 6. And yeah, it looks like it's a pretty good one. I enjoy team events a lot, and so this one's 750k, so not anything too terrible. But good prizes. You got 500 of your combat shards, 2,500 of your 4-star shards, and 5,000 of your 3-star shards, 40 combat premium crystal chips, 100 combiner crystals. And I already saw some people in the chat saying, hey, we need combiner spark. So you got 250k of that and 250k of combat spark. So overall, man, for a 750k event, pretty good event. You get some G metal and gold power cores. So yeah, this one's gonna be it's gonna be chill, but it's gonna be really good prizes, honestly. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be honest with you, I don't like individual events that much, and I'll talk about that a little bit more possibly later on. But yeah, it's just not my thing. I'd rather just do the team event. So nice chill team event with good prizes. You can see the chart here in the newsletter with the typical battle zones. Nothing crazy. All right, so earlier this week, the 5-star community vote was settled, and the winners of that vote, the community vote, were Hoist on the Autobot side and Crankcase on the Decepticon side. Do me a favor in the comments, or for those of you in the chat, let me know what you think about that 5-star community vote. I'm actually going to talk about what I think about it here in a little bit, but yeah, man, let me know what you think. And who was your pick? Because you know, it's been the people I've talked to so far, it's been some mixed emotions about it. And then you get a video there from Sunstreak Waza. He was doing some testing from Braun and Full Tilt. Really good. I think he covered it really well. And then, as always, your official content creators. I just mentioned Sunstreak Waza, Engineer Horse, myself, and Soldier. Links are in the newsletter, so check everybody out. And then Waza got another one talking about hack problems, because everybody can get beat up a little bit by Lyle Kaiser and Computron. So he's talking about that a little bit. Check that out. Take a look at some of the artwork in the community corner. Not bad. And then we look at the saga schedule. So next week we get another team alliance totalizer. That one will be 500k. Really chill. But before we get to the endurance event, and we are gonna have prime core shards on the line in that one. So that'll be good. I think that's the item that everybody really wants right now. So those prime core shards. Let's see. Some bug fixes for the week. So they got Red Alert and Run 'em Up. Those bots were going in the melee with a ranged bot equipped. So that's supposed to be fixed tomorrow. Broadside and 8 phase, or sometimes so they're supposed to spawn, I believe, 5 drones, and so yeah, then they've had times where they were spawning 3 or 4, so they reworked the ability. So all the drones will always be 5, so that should be fixed tomorrow. I know it's been a lot of people looking forward to that. So when that happens, let me know. Let me know how that works out. Because I say my 8 face is still relatively low level. They had light speed and iron vice, and the problem with them getting stuck, in different fixtures while they're in their rush mode. That's been fixed. They're saying trip up and roller force. People keep saying that it's not working, but they are saying the apes are saying that basically there are certain times when they're out of range, and so they added another 2 squares to that, so that should be working. Now I can verify. I actually used trip up on my roller force on my war team, and he was working when I looked at him. So I think there might be some validity to this whole thing about the needing the additional 2 squares. And then, so yeah, I'll definitely be looking for that tomorrow. And then the smart bomb um, battle boost wasn't doing any damage on HQ. That's been fixed. Robert Jettison Wait says Run Amok is severely underrated. I mean, yeah, he kind of is. That's like now the people that I know that love him, they really love him and they use him to the ends of the earth. But yeah, Space Ape will be doing their stream next week on Thursday, or the 16th. Is the 16th next week? Yeah, the 16th is next week, next Thursday. So they'll be on. So start getting your questions ready. That is one of the best times to go ask these guys about new content that's coming to the game and everything like that. Especially since they are only going on once a month now. So make sure you tune into that. Speaking of which, so next week I'm not going to be streaming. I'm going to be on vacation. What I want to try to do though is I want to try to put YouTube Premiere in place of the live stream. So I'll still be talking to you guys. I said I'm actually going to be traveling to Colorado next week, visiting some friends, some family, and stuff like that. Just some chill time, man. I've been having a lot going on in real life lately. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing next week. So I'll send a reminder on my community tab, and I'll send a reminder in my Discord as well. But anyway, that, my friends, is the news. And I'm gonna switch over to the game screen, which I don't think that I have hooked up yet, but that's not a big deal. That's set up really quickly. So while I'm doing that, let's take a look at who we got in the chat. All right, that's not right. Oh, no, that is right. All right, let me reconnect. Switch plugs here. Let's take a look at who we got in that. All right, so let's see. So we got Sunstreak Awaza in there. He's from Mirage Jake's account. He says he's using this tablet. So welcome and thanks for joining. Uh, let's see. We got Lord Avix as usual. So thanks for joining. Mercenary Terror, one of my moderators and one of my fellow YouTubers, is here. So thanks. Still trying to get this thing to stream properly. I might have to go adjust something real quick. So let me do this. Let me go back to the lab and me go change my cords. So I'm using a different cord. I'm supposed to be getting an emulator to use, and I got it, but I got to get my account stuff set up on the emulator. So no problem though. It's just that cord, that particular cord is shorter. And yeah, all kinds of technical difficulties right now. But let's see, we got Trap, my good buddy and teammate. We actually in the same alliance right now. Thanks for joining. Let's see, we got Chris Harmon, another one of our regulars in there. Thanks for joining. And we got Blade 19. Robert, I already mentioned Robert Jettison Wait. Let's see. It's Just Elite, another one of my good friends and YouTubers in the chat. So thanks for hanging out with us today. And let's see if I missed anybody, because sometimes we got folks in there lurking too. Now it looks like that's everybody we got in there so far. All right, cool. Let me see if I can actually get back to game screen. This thing is really giving me a hard time today. I'm gonna try to go reboot my mirroring software. The thing is, I just used my mirroring software earlier. Everything was good. So it's connecting now. Let's see. Doesn't work. I'm gonna actually set my mirroring software down and I'm gonna set it back up. Looks like it might be working now. So looking through the comments, let's see what everybody's talking about. All right. I'm going to try to see if I can just mirror. Give me a second. I don't know what's going on with this thing, man. I was just using my mirroring software. I'm definitely going to try to just go get my new stuff tomorrow. Get it working. All right, cool. So I got something. We'll see how it holds up, because trying to go use it over Wi-Fi can get a little bit dicey sometimes. So let's see what everybody's talking about in the chat. And let's see. So Robert says that he's looking for the Megatronus Prime Core in the event. That'd be cool. You talking about the offense one or the defense one? And he also asked me how my day is going. I said my day has actually been going pretty good, man. I got a good day, man. I got to go shoot some hoops or whatever earlier today. Pretty chill day at work. I can't complain. And Trap says this is a pretty chill event this weekend. I have to agree. Let's see. Chris Harmon says, I thought level 25 combiners would be weaker than the 5-star Overlord. My level 23 Lyle Kaiser and Tripredicates do more damage according to the tooltip. So I think the big thing to really consider is that all of your different combiners are going to have essentially what I consider to be different purposes. So they might do more damage. And I actually had this conversation with somebody earlier today, because a lot of guys are saying, oh man, my combiners aren't doing anything against the base now. So I'm on the test account right now. So I'll start there for all the people, because somebody will be like, man, he's got almost 5 million combiner spark. It's not that. So there's your Overlord. And then when you start looking at all the different damages, and a lot of, even a couple of my players in my alliance were just saying, well, is it even worth it for some of the guys who don't have the 5-star, was it Mega Jet piece yet. And they were saying, well, is this something? Yeah, there it goes right there, the Mega Jet. Was it worth investing in? I still think it is. I still think it's a, it is a 5-star, still a war-worthy 5-star in my opinion. Now do you have some guys that can do more damage-wise? Yeah, it does. You lose a little bit of the health that you get with Overlord, and I tend to go look more heavily at the abilities more than anything else, because with the abilities, I know what I'm gonna use them on, and for me, typically I only use my combiners on certain things. Like I'll use my combiners on build bots and outpost bots, uh, more than I use them on anything else. So if that being the case, like I don't have a problem with, like, here you got level 25 Tripredicus is more damage, and I think a lot of the focus is on damage to the base, damage to the base. And look, it really depends on your strategy. My personal strategy is more towards conserving ability points, and so I go for any problem build bots, any problem power cores, period. So like I might go use my combiner and see a Liege Maximal core on defense, and I say, well, I'm not going to try to target that. I'm going to use my combiner for that. Then I ain't got to worry about it. So it really just depends on your style. But honestly, at this point in the game, I use Overlord, I use Tripredicus, and I use Galvatronus. So that that's who I use primarily in wars and Cyber and Prime League wars right now. So for you guys on the Autobot side, Omega Supreme, Guy Rain, and Magna Boss, those are the ones that I think really get some use in Prime League. So yeah, let's see. So we got a lot of comments in there about Crankcase. I want to start off talking about that, because I'll start off with, there were 3 bots that I wanted, that were at the top of my list to become the next 5-star, right? And so those 3 bots, I already told people that I was voting for Rodimus Unicronus. I started off with that. I started off when I made the video about Rod U. That's what I was talking about. So Inferno for you guys on the Autobot side, right? Then after that, I started thinking around, and I said, man, I really like. I'm gonna pull this up, because I really like Spinister a lot, and so he wound up in the top 3. So I was like, all right, cool, and that was really polarizing for a lot of people. But I think that he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be really good. I think he would be really good as a 5-star. And here's my issue: when we start talking about making combos for everything, right? When we start talking about making combos for everything, then Spinister becomes more of a natural combo, in my opinion. But ultimately, the winner was Crankcase, and a lot of people were perplexed by that. They was just like, well, who uses Crankcase? Dude, honestly, everybody probably should be using Crankcase. Once he's a 5-star, I think a lot of times we just neglect the bots that are just 4 stars. I have been doing some testing with them, so I got my Nexus Prime core on them right now. But when I look at abilities, and I look at abilities that affect their entire team, that's always going to speak volumes to me. That's what spoke volumes to me when I was talking about using Rodimus Unicronus. That's what, an Inferno for the Autobots. But when you use Crankcase or Hoist, you're healing the entire team. You're making them 100% faster with the 4-star. Now, if you saw my video when I made a video, it's probably been about 4 or 5 months ago now, and it was all speed team is what I was talking about. Yeah, man, like, he was the centerpiece, and I used him as a 3-star in that video. Mercenary Terror is in the comments and he says, yeah, I use Crankcase. Man, look, he's good, man. This is not a bot that you should be upset about him joining the 5-star batch. And to be honest with you, all three of those guys, the top three that were on that list, was on my list as well. So I actually gotta applaud the community this time. There are times where we go watch the community make some of the most terrible 5-star votes that I've ever seen, if I'm being honest. And it's frustrating. This time they picked 3 good bots and just one of them edged out the other bots. I'm pleased with this pick. Depending on what's going on with me game wise, I might pursue this bot because I think he's very, very valuable. And if you haven't used him, man, play around with him in some farming battles and stuff like that and just see what you think of him. It might change your mind if you use him. I was talking to Trap earlier about Spinister, so I already know his thoughts. Yeah, I got you. Mike Berge joined the chat and he says that he uses Crankcase in raids, constant heal, and speed up for the entire team. And you know what? Honestly, I have to go check and see on my main account what level my Crankcase is at, because I think he's in the high 50s right now. It might be worth taking a look because right now my speed up primarily comes from Fam and Motormaster's ability. And that's not a speed up, that's just a damage boost. My speed boost comes from Cutthroat. For you guys on the Autobot side, that's Tracks. That's only 15%. So when I look at 100% damage boost, I'm gonna try that though. I'm gonna try that next week in raid, since you mentioned it. So we got a comment says he needs an ability 11. I'll be honest with you, a lot of times once they start making new 5-stars, to be honest, and I'm not saying that I have this knowledge right now, but the pattern has been the ability 11s come shortly after. So I'll just hold tight, Mike, and I think it'll come. Matt Polly has joined the chat, as well as Alpha Tryon 1. Thanks for joining. And they was like, oh, like, sorry for being late. Look, man, any day we can come up here and chat with each other, I'm happy about it. So whatever time you come in there. I can't see what this is. Denala Kid just joined. He says he's new to the channel. So hey man, thanks for joining, man, and hopefully you subscribed already. So yeah, man, like we just in here talking about this 5-star vote, and honestly, I was pleased with the entire vote. I was pleased that there were 3 good 4-star bots that were a part of that vote. So very, very pleased. Crankcase was not my vote, but he was in my top 3, so I'm very pleased with that. See how it goes. Wait. Looks like I'm good. All right, so some of the other stuff I want to talk about. So I want to talk about some of these new prime cores that are going to be coming up here defensively soon to the game, and this is what we're looking at in playtest right now. I would like to actually get. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at cores. Let's take it and see what the cores actually do first. We can just take it from there. All right, so we can go to building cores, prime cores. So looks like there's still some work to be done with amalgamists, but what we have been working on, so we'll talk about the old cores first and what they've been doing to make them better. And so I don't want to look at that. We want to look at the Alchemist Prime Core. So a lot of people were saying the Alchemist Prime Core was pretty trash. Um, and to be honest, it was. And so what we started doing now is they're gonna the abilities change a little bit. So not only is it gonna heal itself, now Alchemist always heals based on its own damage. The offensive core like does like that, defensive core is like that. But for the Alchemist Prime Core, it is now going to heal nearby defenses. So 30% of the damage they heal. And I honestly think it's a much better core like that. So let's go check that out. Where do I have trying to see where I got my prime cores. All right, it's this one. So I'll bring this one forward for a minute. And we get a, since it's now gonna have nearby stuff, we'll put some stuff, we'll put some more defenses near it. We'll see what it does in terms of additional damage and healing. I'll go into a base trial and we'll take a look. And while we're doing that, got a question. Matt Polly asks, what's your take on my Cronus? It's good, but only the same heal as the health Billbot core should be better. So I'll tell you this. So I think a lot of it is in how you use the Micronus core, and most people are using it uh, in the cluster. They're using it in the shielded cluster with the MDS, and so because that's the way that it's being used, it's stupid effective, in my opinion. So I don't have any problem with the way that it's being used. Right now, I'm just trying to look at some of the numbers. So there's some damage there. And yeah, you can see the nearby stuff is getting healing. Now I'm looking real close at that missile launcher. It's not healing, so it looks like it's gotta be kind of like when you look at like a shield generator. Kind of like how you look at shield generators, and it's gotta be touching the defense. So let me try it. And I intentionally left it separated just to see it. So I will bring that missile launcher right up next to that beam laser with the Alchemist Prime core. Let's see if we can get some healing going this time. Trap wanted to add on to my statement that he says that it stacks with the Buildbot core when we were talking about that Micronus. And for a while, and if you got a time trap going, um, it's definitely helpful. For me, I started changing up some of my power cores because I kind of got a choke point on my actual base. But yeah. And realistically speaking, um, don't copy me, guys, because I would not use this Alchemist Prime core on a beam laser. That's just where I just happened to put it while I was playing around. So always got to add that caveat. They'd be like, "Well, Freeze had his on the." I just put it somewhere for a moment, just because I wanted to do some testing with it. That's where I put it. So cool. So that's one of the ones that we got. The new Alchemist. And I've been telling people because everybody's like the Alchemist core sucks, and it did. But if you already have one, I already started investing in mine in the live server because I know this is coming. It's going to be good. Trap says put Alchemist on the laser MDS. Yeah, I can do that. Because you know what? Honestly, you got to try to simulate these things, especially when you on like live stream. Um, I feel like there is an obligation to kind of use stuff the way that you could potentially do it real world. And when you're hitting multiple targets like you're gonna do like this on laser gun MDS, I think that works really, really well. And that's actually one of the first things I did when I started. And it looked like my screen froze. Second. All right, we're back. Back to my wired connection for my mirroring software because it's actually starting to slow the CPU down a little bit. Freezy. Just give me a second. I'm trying to get everything to. Here. Yeah, and the problem that gonna happen is as I'm starting to have a little bit of lag, and I think it's because I'm trying to mirror. I'm trying to mirror a little bit. Just everybody hang on real quick. I'll try to get it straightened out. Matter of fact, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go back. Okay, it looks like I got it now. Definitely dropping frame. All right, let's try it and see what it does. I think it's still being choppy. All right, I'm gonna go back to the lab real quick. Let me see if I can back out of this mirroring program and just get this thing started. Like I'm really for me to get that access, so it'll just go straight through my computer. Right now, is I'm like dropping frames like crazy because I'm trying to also go to the Wi-Fi. Let me try to back out of that. That one time. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Can't really. See if we can get connected for. Anyway, let me take a look, and while I'm doing that, see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, so I got like a million messages saying, "Oh, it's choppy." I was like, "Yeah, man, like that's kind of like the the worst thing to say to a creator when I guess like I'm trying like not to panic." But yeah, I got you. Thanks for letting me know, but like I'm working on it. just can't get it to go. I can't get it to go on to a wired connection. Michael Mancini says he's honored that I wore a shirt with his name on it. Let me try something else. I keep turning the camera around when I try to turn my computer around, but Trap says this is karma, my lack of faith in Dirtbag. Hey, listen, so we were having this conversation about how uh just different bots, and it's nothing against Dirtbag at all. Dirtbag is actually a really, really good bot. It just wasn't my next one that I'm trying to put in the 5-star batch. You know, I think he's got a lot of really, really good purposes. But I was like the top 3 that we had was the top 3 that I had too. Nah. And I said, now I got all the comments. It's like, no, we wait patiently, we're fine. Man, I don't know, man. You gotta wonder sometimes. Have you seen Discord sometimes? Trying to get this. It's just not doing wired connection. I'm gonna go back to wireless, see how it goes. So I think I got it back. Might have to. Back, and now the actual game itself froze. All right, cool. Yeah, Robert C4 says I changed my inputs. Now, I mean, the biggest thing is that that I did try to change the inputs. And it's just a lot of stuff going on. Ultimately, I was planning on going to go use the BlueStacks, the ape set that I could use, and oh, and it didn't work right away because I gotta request a code for it. So um you know, honestly, typically I use the same connection all the time, and this is for whatever reason that mirroring software just ain't working, but it's all good. Let's see. So let's take a look at. Let's see. Let's take a look at. So Megatronus. Oh, actually, we were going to look at. We were looking at the MDS, laser MDS with Alchemist. And you can actually see those numbers are going up a lot quicker because it's got multiple targets. Now, in this case, because I moved it up front, you know, it changed it a little bit. But um, honestly, like if you use that in the right situation where you've got like shield generators running, shield generators are also about to get a little increase when they get an upgrade later on. And yeah, it's gonna be all right. So yeah, definitely a couple of different ways you can use it. I would probably use it on the MDS, but it'll be cool. All right, let's see. So that one changed a little bit. And really, for Megatronus, one of the other cores that everybody said was bad. The Megatronus, also the range changed on it. So you can actually see that one right here. And when you go use the max version of that, it can do 90% fire damage. So I think it's going. I actually like this better, but I like it better at the range that it has. Like if you look at the little aura around it, and I think a lot of people get confused about that when you're looking at it from a scouting standpoint. Um, just to add some additional fire damage. So that's what we're looking at for that. I want to take a look at Solus. So let me see if I can rework my base to kind of take a look at Solus. Honestly, they didn't change much from the offensive Solus, we're being honest. But what it did was I kind of like having this additional turret because now we're on defense. Like on offense, it's not my favorite prime core by any stretch of the imagination. But now that they put it on offense or defense, pretty good. So now we keep in Trap. Trap was already saying this, but I already left the demo cores up there, that Alchemist one. Um, what I'm looking for, I actually didn't really catch it that. So with the Soulless, what it's basically saying, every 15 seconds you create a turret that has 34% of your health and damage, and it lasts for 12 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move this back. I think I destroyed it too fast. And we can take a look at that in the base trial. Joshua Worley says he's new to the channel and thanks for the content. And he just subscribed. So thank you for subscribing. All right, so what I'm gonna do is you gotta wait the 15 seconds first. So let's wait and we'll focus back here on this shock tower. And yeah, then you see that turret pop out. And it's kind of similar to what it is on offense. But I say, in the heat of battle, just seeing that pop up randomly, I kind of like it. And I never thought I would like a Soulless Prime Core, but I like it on defense a lot. Matt Polly says, can you imagine being able to equip Vector on the shield generator in the center of a good cluster? No, that would be crazy, but I don't think there's any plans to give shield generator a power core. But that would be crazy. But speaking of that, let's go check out the Vector Prime core. So kind of the same theory. On 0 health, building goes back in time, restoring it to the health it had 22 seconds ago. So that's at level 20. I'm going to try to use that on MDS. Alpha Trion 1 says we need to allow 2 core slots for defense. I'll say topic comes up often, having 2 core slots. I don't think the apes are going to move on that yet. or not. I don't even want to say yet because that implies that it could be later on. It's just not something that's in. It seems like it's in the plans for them right now. I probably need to actually target the MDS. Did it actually like leave and come back, or does it just need to, or it would just need to be retooled and testing? You try it again. All right, so we'll get see with the Vector Prime. Cool. Oh yeah, it's definitely taking longer because so it goes back to the health it was. It doesn't actually visually just have it pop back up. So I mean, like you go use this thing on MDS, it could take for it could take forever for it to get down. It's that's being quite a pain in the butt. That's what we're looking at there. All right, so let's see. I also want to check out now. I'll go here and try to use the Quintus Prime Core. And so when you're looking at that one, each time a nearby building and an outpost spot is destroyed, it creates a Sharktacon with 30% of the building's health and damage that lasts for 7 seconds. So it's basically like the offensive version of the Quintus Prime Core. So we'll just keep running this again. And so now, what I kind of like about this is it's going to be kind of similar to when we have sharks in the war effects, and it kind of penalizes you a little bit for damaging things quickly. My only concern is that if it starts spawning sharks and you spawning sharks, that the sharks just wind up fighting each other. I hadn't even seen them. This Oh, it's got to be a nearby building. All right, so I'm gonna move this forward then. Try it again. Looking at the Quintus Prime Core, seeing how it works. Yeah, you can see when I destroyed that alloy storage or energon storage, a shark just popped out. So just one of those ones where you got to be kind of creative. But yeah, and Trap kind of saying the same thing I'm saying. Imagine if you have that uh, while you've got shark war effects, which I absolutely hate, by the way. Just because it makes me change my team so much. But I finally learned how to manage sharks. And then let's see. So I actually got Primal there. The Primal core has been working the whole time, but it says every 5 seconds, enemies in a wide area receive 25% extra damage from all sources for 5 seconds. So pretty much the same way that the Primal core works on the offense. When you look at it, if you focus on it during your scouting, it just has a little bit of ring that goes around it, a little aura that goes around it to show it your range. Personally, it's too cluttered up there. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna isolate it a little bit so we can see it. Mercenary terror. I keep seeing hunger running around my base, and he was like, "Why do people think that he's bad?" And I think the biggest thing is so there's already a lot of people that just don't like bots that rush in. Period. But I think if he was a little bit more durable, and I think during the time when he was doing his heyday, he was actually, I know people that swore by him at the time. It's just a tough sell currently. Matt Pauley says that he could see 300 becoming a badge of honor and not a daily occurrence. With all this new stuff coming to the game, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if you look at that aura that's going around, it's a decent range, but I think the primal core as it stands has to kind of work in a cluster. Um, I would like to see the range extended on that a little bit, but that's the key thing is going in and basically receiving additional damage while you're inside that aura ring. Um, yeah, so and you can actually see the animations for that. But it's tough. I think that if they expanded it more and you can receive more damage through a larger area, then that's what it'll be. And Kill Cannon joined the chat. Thanks for joining. Mike Berge says that he preferred for the primal core to have to hit you to do the extra 25% rather than the range around the defense. But see, here's the thing. So if you go and he says put it on a missile launcher. So here's the thing. So right now it is on the missile launcher, but what you're gonna have to look at is now anything that hits him is gonna have additional damage. So that means all the other defenses around him are gonna be able to have additional damage too. So, but you have to be within that specific area for it to work. So, uh, Robert C4 says his slipstream good. You just realized he had the 4-star. So yeah, slipstream actually can be really good. It's just you got to have good time in the combo at will to get the ability to work. I believe that's air raid for you guys on the Autobot side, slipstream. But yeah, if you can time everything well, it's actually a pretty solid bot. All right, and that looks like that's G1 cores. I want to play around a little bit with these new G1s and these ability 11s before I get off the stream. So let me go add one of my favorites of all time. Let me add Ramjet to this. I want to add, because he's got the new ability 11 and G1. We'll talk about it again real quick because basically his G1 core is protecting him by from a bunch of different stuff: auto cannons, laser turrets, shock towers, miniguns. I'll be honest with you, I don't really see the value in that because most of us that use Ramjet use him for sack. I mean, yeah, you're gonna protect him a little bit, just because he's not as much health as other warrior class bots. But for his ability 11, you're just adding additional um adding additional space to his adding like basically adding some width, some AoE a little bit to his ability, the fire part of his ability, which is not my primary use for him. So if you look at it, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's a little bit wider than it was as far as fire damage goes. Yeah, it's a little bit wider than it was, so you can do more fire damage than you could to more stuff. So it's not bad at all. But for him, I usually use Vector, so I just kind of like Vector. Mike Burgett has this primer stat with the minigun MDS effect, so we certainly can try it. Because the thing is, when I look at minigun is glass gas. So what we should see when we go up there is we should see the glass gas effect and the icon for the I keep wanting to call it vector, but for Prima. Let's change this to minigun. Keep trying to change to which variant minigun. We'll try to see how that does. Pretty sure the answer is yes, but as I seeing is believing. So we just do it like that. Trap says Ramjet, um, ability 11 and G1. It says Sad Panda. Yeah, I'm really, really good at using Ramjet, and I don't like this. And it looks like you get both. In this case, you get that's actually a good call, Robert. It's actually a good call, as if you go use the glass gas and the primer in that same area, dude, they tear some stuff up. And honestly, I think it's good because right now a lot of the emphasis is on, for me personally, the emphasis is on using the laser MDS because I'm still using, well, in on here I'm using Scorpionaut, but in my actual game I'm still using Tripticon, and you still get that Titan effect for the beams, getting the additional damage from that. So you need more incentives to use the other variants of the MDS. So I'm cool with that. All right, let's check out Skull Smasher and Warpath. So I'll just change this. I'll just go stick to 5-star. Skull Smasher. All right, so the G1, 19.3% increase to the fiery indigestion. And then that ability 11 is giving you glass gas damage. So everybody can take 40% extra damage for 5 seconds. So let's see what that looks like. Because some of the concerns that I've been seeing is that, well, it's going to take too long to get another bot out there within that 5 seconds. So we'll see how that looks. All right, so here, and the problem is I actually don't like this bot very much because I've seen this bot just force people into some really bad habits. Like that's the only lead in that they know. And a lot of times folks will just keep using it. With the 4-star, I think the 5-star makes a difference. And in this case, you can continue to spam them from the pad. And with the glass gas, if you can go get another use in behind it, man, it does. It's a good cool. It does the job. I just don't like when I see people only have that one strategy. So that's really been my gripe with Skull Smasher and Warpath. But the ability and its G1 and its ability 11, honestly, it might be one of the better ability 11s in the game at this point. But that's what that G1 looks like and the ability 11 looks like. When you combine them together, it does a heck of a job. I'm not going front. Fox the Bomb, one of my other moderators, is in the chat. Says, I can't seem to drop 5-star Scully for my war squad. Yeah, and to be honest, man, you probably use them a lot better than a lot of other people that I've seen. So, all right, so let's see. Let's check out. Check out the Dirge Autobot counterpart Blades. Let's go find. Let me make sure I actually got the core equipped. Don't. So let me go give him the G1 core. And so with that one, it's gonna add a grenade, a hack grenade, and take control over enemy defenses for 5 seconds. So I kind of like this G1 core because it's an extension of the bot's natural ability. So now you can get it at different layers. You can hack them short range and long range. And then you're going to get some of that protection from laser turrets and beam lasers, so you help them with the health of them a little bit. I like it. So let's test it out. Actually, I didn't put them in there. Let me put them in. Yeah, I did too. Put them in the first spot. Let's see. With his ability 11, his ability 11 is basically just adding that additional speed. So now you're up to 80%. So let's see how it looks. I just got him as the 4-star right now, just because I think it's still really, really good with the 4-star. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get that G1 core working. So I want that grenade to come out. And so he throws that grenade. And now you've got that defense hacked for 5 seconds. And then you can launch your hack right there on the back side of it. Now, I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on once people found out what the when they found out what the G1 core did, they said, "Nah, I'm not using." They said, "I'm not using these things. I'm not using that ability or using that G1 core because." A couple guys I know they say, "Well, I got the Nexus Prime core, or I've got different cores on them." I like the core. I like the cores when they allow you to use the ability without using ability points. Um, you might have to rearrange your teams a little bit to use that core. Let's see. Michael Mancini says, but can it hack the unhackable or just regular stuff? And heal cores will still make his ability math for wars. So let me see. So I, if I'm understanding it correctly, so like MDS or whatever, you're not hacking that. So let's see. I think that if you try to use like an anti-hack, a high frequency suppressor core, and it's within range of that, like you still gonna have to fight your build bot cores. We can actually take a look at it real quick. And Trap, who's one of my fellow playtesters, says he actually likes it on defense. That time I put him in kind of a bad spot, so I try to move him over to the side somewhere. But he's not gonna. It's not gonna change what he can hack. Yeah, and I have to agree with you. Matt Polly says, "Is it a good? Is it war worthy? Probably not. Is it a good core? Yes." And I think that's the way to break it down. And one thing you guys got to realize too, for me, is I think most of the G1 cores just aren't that good. To be honest, the majority of them. It seems like he keeps going in melee combat. But nah, just to answer the question, it's not going to override that G1 core is not going to override anything that's unhackable. And I have to agree with Michael Mancini. Also says I'm using him on defense, so I think the G1 core will be great on defense. On offense, it seems like a lot of work. Other bots could do a better job, and that's you're seeing that on the screen right now. So I could actually pop him in there on defense, see what that looks like. That's what I could see a situation. So you're hacking them for I think what is it 9.9 seconds, and so you hack, in AOE, and then when you're done with that, you go hack them again with a grenade on defense. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, the team's gonna get do his hack. Yeah, I think he just died a little too quickly from where I got him positioned. anyway, that's how that core is working. But before I get out of here, I also want to, and the artwork isn't done for it yet, but we've got the G1 core for full tilt and brawn. And so that one is actually going to probably be appealing to a lot of people if you're getting ready for the endurance event. It says, so this is the maxed out G metal level 20. Every 8 seconds, throw a bundle of 3 EMP grenades, dealing damage and disabling targets for 4 seconds. And it increases your normal attack damage by 14.5%. So when you actually go look at this stats breakdown, like his base damage is just okay. He's at 472.7. Is a maxed out 5-star, right? Let's get him onto the screen and we will test out full tilt with his G1. Yeah, you can actually see those little bombs. You can actually see those little bombs actually stun. And it just depends on like some of the criticisms that we get, you know, when we were talking about it in playtest, is that they're hitting the same target. It really just depends on the range. So I'm actually gonna go to the opposite side so he can last a little bit longer on the battlefield. Oops. But one of the things that when I saw that they made this G1, going back to my original point, is that I like abilities that build off of the pre-existing ability. And so his ability you're using, you know, it doesn't do any damage. But if you can come in here and stun something with that grenade, with those grenades, now you can follow up with the ability and possibly destroy something for free. Or not for free, but for one ability use instead of having to combo it. And I think those grenades help a lot with team survivability too. Because if you guys saw when I was using them last time, when I was using full tilt, yeah, he wasn't hanging on as long as he was now. So could be a nice core. But all right, guys, that's all I'm gonna cover today. Like I said, I'm not gonna be here streaming next week, but I say I do want to get back into making like my videos and stuff. Just been really busy period for me right now. Um so yeah, look forward to that. I'll send reminders out there in my community tab and everything like that. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. Michael Mancini says so his ability is like punch with grenades. No, I mean that's his G1 cool. Yeah, that's his G1 core's ability. His actual ability is just going to I'll pull it back up real quick. His actual ability is just to do EMP. It doesn't do any additional damage unless it's comboed, then it does, you know, a ridiculous amount of damage. But yeah, so thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you guys next week, or not next week. Well, I'll see you guys next week because I'm gonna make videos and everything. But I will see you guys on the battlefield as well. Freezy is out.